Good afternoon, everyone. We are the IT Monkeys. My name is Soong, and I'm going to be working with Tobias and Isaac and Jesus to start off our analysis phase by defining our requirements, doing a little bit of market research, and then deciding whether to build our application or buy a different application. This is going to be our problem definition and objectives.
Okay, and so the problem is the client's problem is that businesses need a simple time management tool, um, which has to work in offline environments. It has to have a task and job management and a scheduling option, and it should also be easy to use for contractors and employees.
Our objectives for this phase is going to be to determine our client requirements and priorities, research existing software packages like the one we're trying to build, and then to again decide whether we want to build this ourselves or buy an existing system.
So for our system requirements, these are basically features that define how the user or how the contractors are going to use the system to meet their requirements. So we broke it down into three categories, which is the must-haves, and these are basically essential core functions. We have the important, which are basically high-value features that we would like to include, and then we have the nice-to-have, which are basically optional, but we might implement at a later date.
So for our must-haves, we have automatic time tracking using GPS for employees who want to clock in on the job site, offline capability for traveling contractors with unreliable internet connections, easy UI for people of all ages and backgrounds, and task or job management.
For the important stuff, we have calendar and scheduling view, which allows you to view basically your clock in times, or it also lets employer view their employee hours. Then we have payroll and export integration, which makes it easy to streamline the payroll process and send an invoice. And we have cross-platform consistency to ensure that all platforms show the same information and it's a seamless experience for all users.
So for our nice to haves, we have a search filter for them to search through their specific dates that they tracked hours, and notifications and reminders for upcoming shifts or frequent late start times.
And to start off our market research, we took a look at a couple of apps and then we labeled out their strengths and compared those to our must haves. Uh, yeah.
And so the first app that we found is called Hammer Time, I would say. And it's very contractor focused, which is a good thing in this market. But it doesn't meet all of our must-have. And then the second one that we found is the WorkTimer.pro program. It's a very simple like one-tap layout, so it's a very easy to use app. But it also didn't meet all of the requirements. Um, And then the third one we found is called ClockShark, um, which is really nice because it's a cloud-based ADP. Payroll integration is possible, and but it also didn't meet all of our must-haves.
And then we have work status that had more of a focus on tasks and employee location. It didn't meet all of our must haves. Then we also have Connect Team. This one had full payroll, GPS tracking, and automatic clock in. This one did meet our must haves as well as the construction clock with auto GPS and clocking in and payroll export options.
And then we have the requirements versus where we compared different apps versus creating an app ourselves. So for our requirements, we had to have automatic time tracking, offline capability, task management, calendar, payroll export, an easy user interface. It had to be cross-platform and consistent across all devices. It had to have a search filter and notifications or reminders. So as you can see here, we compared various different apps. A lot of them met some of the requirements, but not all of them. And as we said earlier, the one that mostly met most of the requirements would be Connecting.
All right. And so now we're talking about the build versus buy recommendation. So here we can basically see why the client should buy or build with us. So, and then also on the top left, you can see the two market leaders, which would be Connect Team and ClockShark. And yeah, so for the buy, so the reasons to buy an existing app would be that those two apps already have an automatic GPS clock in and out. They do have the offline capability. There are mobile first apps, and so they are not on the desktop. They are only on phones. And it also has a payroll export, which is very important. They do have some limitations though. So the task job management is often limited or bundled with like unnecessary complexity. The calendar and scheduling options are available, but they may be too advanced or also complex. Then the search filters and notifications can vary by app, so they're not always customizable. And those two apps have a subscription cost, which varies, and even by user. So the more users, the more it costs. And so the client has to adapt to the app's workflow. So it's not like with us, where we would adapt to the client.
And then we have that compared to our build option to build our custom timekeeper app. It would have to meet kind of the same must-haves to compare to the market leaders. So the GPS automatic clock in, clock out, offline use with APIs, custom task and job management creations for employers, and then a simple mobile UI for anyone to use. These are our nice to haves, the search and filter, notification, and reminders. If we could get that in, it would make our app have more market value. But there are limitations to building our own timekeeper app, like a longer rollout. It wouldn't be something that we could use right away. We would have to build it, and it would require ongoing support.
And then for our conclusion, this is why we decided that building with us would be better than going with an app that's already out in the market. So for the timekeeper, what we decided were the best deciding factors are it has a custom building task manager for clients, and it's simple, has an easy user interface, and it's also flexible for task and job management.
And then for the top market performers, they contain most of the timekeeper must-have requirements. There were some bad reviews for a harsh learning curve or a complicated interface. However, it is highly profitable with a monthly subscription service option starting at $8 per month.
And for our decision, we asked ourselves 3 questions. We wanted to know if we could add further value to this market based on our market research. We concluded with yes. And then we asked, would filling our market gaps, or would filling the market gaps in this specific market be profitable for us? And we think so. And is completing this project still feasible after market research? And we still believe that to be true. But that's pretty much our conclusion. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.